Monday Night Raw, folks. Monday Night Raw. What do I have to say about Monday Night Raw? It's the night after No Mercy, even though that show had its ups and downs throughout the entire night. What was going to be the aftermath of it, huh? What was going to happen from the title itself in the end of the main event to John Cena and Roman Reigns to the tag team or how bad Cesaro's teeth injury was. But we kicked it off with The Miz doing his Miz TV segment. Both, pretty much the rest of Miztourage was out there with him, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. He said, so, it's going to be a celebration when he gets home back in Hollywood Hills, and that told Maurice to keep the champagne on ice because, Daddy's coming home since he retained his title. Roman Reigns pretty much came out then since he was Miz's guest. They were in Ontario, California, so it was actually more cheers than a little bit more cheers than the boos that usually happen. Usually you hear major boos, but it felt like it wasn't a lot of boos, and you're gonna hear that later on in the night. And as Reigns pretty much looked at the crowd and everything, they still did boo at him. Miz told them, asked if they were done, and Miz apologized to Reigns to the fans as he welcomed them to the show. But Reigns says, "We like it loud." And Miz says, "You beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania," and it's pretty much now equally equivalent to him beating John Cena last night. And said that Cena passed the torch, and he talked about Cena and Roman Reigns, and Roman went on just to say he respects John Cena now pretty much, and he did a lot of things, but he backed up everything he said, and he showed it in the ring, and he's held down the fort for 15 years, and that's why he says he was proud to beat him last night. Reigns, he pretty much said it was it was probably the biggest win of his career, and Miz was the only one celebrating last night, so I don't even know why I'm talking to an idiot like you. And Miz pretty much said, you're supposed to be the guy, but he says the real guy is here in this ring with the title. He said Jordan was a loser, but Reigns says he's more formidable in the ring than you could ever be. And he pretty much told Jordan would have beat you if you didn't have Axel and Dallas there. And he says, you know what, he pretty much told one of them, like, you, go fetch me a beer, boy. He said, go fetch me a beer, boy. And then Miz said, we don't drink beer here. Yeah, and then that's almost kind of like a cue in for Stone Cold to happen. But Miz pretty much said that Reigns is just riding off the coattails of the former members of the Shield. And what would happen if the Miztourage faced the Shield? Let that sink in, folks, and you'll be hearing a lot of that throughout the night and thinking that throughout the night. But Reigns says, we will whip y'all ass with no problem. That's what would happen. And he said Dean and Seth, they're not here right now. It's just you going after, you're going after the Universal title, but you've choked a whole bunch of times against Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Brock Lesnar, and you were pinned at SummerSlam. But Miz pretty much says, you can't do it. And since he kept yelling at him, Roman says, you know what? Let's fight. We're going to fight right now. Move the chair. Get out of the ring. But Miz says, I got a pregnant wife at home. I'm in a suit. I can't do this right now. They left the ring. So Kurt Angle came out and told them that, you know what? It's going to be Reigns versus Miz tonight. And Axel and Dallas, you're going to go against Matt Hardy. Even since Jeff Hardy is hurt with a shoulder injury, he's supposed to undergo it. I don't know if he tore his rotator cuff. He's going to be gone for many, many months. So you're only going to have Matt Hardy. Still no broken gimmick though, but he's going to tag with Jason Jordan, which kind of sucked the crowd away once they said Jason Jordan, and Jeff was hurt. But some people say it's going to set up this whole Miztourage versus Shield thing. We'll get into that later in the show. But Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan, which Jason Jordan didn't really come out to any type of big reaction anyways, and it's not going well for him. Well, against the Miztourage, Jason Jordan and Matt won. Like I said, Jordan can throw a mean suplex. He's a great wrestler, but the guy's just very vanilla and bland. And Matt does what he can to keep a reaction. Does is wonderful and delete chants. But Matt hit the twist of fate, won the match, and that was it. So they did that there. So that's what happened. The tag match was okay for what it was. So, um, yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought right there. So the tag match, what it was. So that's what happened. And by the way, Jeff Hardy did hurt his shoulder last week on the show, doing that big power bomb spot, which is kind of crazy. Of all the crazy shit Jeff Hardy does all the time, you think this simple thing caused a shoulder injury or rotator cuff that he now has to have surgery for it. Next was Elias doing his song about Apollo Crews, which the people weren't really on Apollo's side. So it's been a lot of Californians really, and you never really mention it. But Elias went against Apollo Crews again, which people actually got behind Crews for a second, but Elias won in the end. I wouldn't say a squash match. Next thing you know, Titus comes in the ring. Titus O'Neil attacks him with the people who are behind him and kind of popped him, did this woof woof woof, that, his chant that's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. But I'm sure it'll be a match next week with them. Crews, I just feel like he's a waste of talent. What was this, shorter than it was from last night with Elias still winning? I like Apollo Crews, but like I said, this guy was brought up from NXT way too early. Finn Balor said he's done with Bray Wyatt and he wanted to thank him. He says for all the victims, the people he's victimized, because now he's taken out, and the man took him out, but now he's going back to what he was supposed to do. Go back for the Universal Championship. So is Finn Balor now the next person to go against Brock Lesnar for the title? Whenever Brock comes back, we'll have to find and see, but he may be the next one going in. Finn, Kurt Hawkins talked about his 118 match losing streak, and he says, you know what's going to end tonight? Braun Strowman came out pretty much pissed. Hawkins ran away, but Strowman caught him and threw him through some table into the crowd, and he threw him on the stage and put him through the stage. And Strowman says, I'm not leaving until I get on a fight. He's on a path of destruction. Next thing you know, Dean Ambrose comes out for some reason and looked at Hawkins and, no, hey, I'll do it, I'm crazy. So Wackadoo and Dean come in to fight Strowman. So that's what's gonna happen. So we knew Strowman had to be pissed since there's no Brock and Paul on the show. Braun Strowman didn't win against Dean Ambrose, but a very competitive match for some reason. It wasn't a bad match, but you think Strowman would be more destruction and show more carnage, probably killing Dean Ambrose, put him through tables or something. But he won with a power slam, and that was it. He very much took out Hawkins and put him through the LED screen on the stage, so that was brutal enough. But I didn't understand why Dean Ambrose was going against Strowman. I guess he accepted the challenge, but this just felt random as hell. Enzo said he wanted a celebration night for becoming the Cruiserweight champion. And he says, you know what, you're going to get one. He says, you know what, it's your first championship, right? And he says, you want some advice from Hall of Famer? He said, nah, I'm good. And then he walked away. Seth was talking to Dean in the back, telling him, you need to stop your self-destructive ways. They're champions right now. He's going to take care of Sheamus for it. So next week, it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose now. Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman now. Sorry about that. Alexa Bliss came out saying she wanted to, I've never been all eye to eye with the fans. She says, you guys are my friends and I'm disappointed. And she says, you put all the women towards me, but I've cleaned out the entire division. And pretty much then, Mickie James came out, which, I still hate that Mickie James doesn't get reaction. And Mickie James, I'm glad something's happening right here. And Mickie, I want you to say what you said about me on Raw Talk, but pretty much Alexa Bliss kept making all these old jokes about her, saying, you're my top 8 on MySpace. Like, I don't want you to break a hip or anything. And he says, I respect you and stuff. And you do all these charities, but it's only a couple fans that's want to say you still got it. And Mickie James, there you go, talking at the side of your neck again and stuff. And you know who I am. I'm a 6-time women's champion. I've broken bones, broken hearts, broken down barriers, women in the WWE before, while you were still wearing a training bra. And I see you're still wearing one too. So why don't you say what you said about me on Raw Talk? Because I'm not leaving this ring and says you're a coward. Bliss said she was an old lady, and then pretty much Mickie James slapped the crap out of her twice and hit her with a mick kick, knocked out. So at least this was a good segment. The crowd wasn't into it, but at least they got to the insults of both women. Hopefully this goes somewhere for Mickie James, because we know Asuka won't be coming until next month for TLC, which I feel like it's going to be Asuka and Bliss for the Women's Championship at TLC, and it'll be probably a squash of, Asuka's got to kill her, but at least Mickie James is getting something, something major. I don't know if she'll win the title or not, and I know they've done this before when they did this on SmackDown. It didn't really go anywhere, but as for on Raw, I don't know. Some people even wonder, why wasn't Mickie James just added to the match at No Mercy? But now at least they got something going with her now until further notice, but I think she'll probably keep this up until when Asuka comes around. So at least it was nice to see Mickie get something for once in a while. And it was a really good promo too. So hopefully this goes somewhere with her. Seth Rollins went against Sheamus. Cesaro was pretty much showed up in a suit, and we all know what happened last night with Cesaro's teeth. And by the way, but you gotta say, he's a tough motherfucker to have his teeth just jammed into his gum, not even cracked. They were just jammed into his gum. He's a tough bastard, I'll tell you what. And yeah, he's gonna have some surgery, dental work. I'm supposed to have implants. He got stitches on his lip. So Cesaro was there. He didn't do anything. Most time his mouth was closed. So I'm sure he's gonna have surgery soon on his teeth. The match with Rollins and Sheamus was alright. Pretty much Sheamus tried to go for a bro kick, but Seth dodged, and he hit his Rainmaker / V-trigger move for the win. So good match for what it was. So that was gonna go down, but Seth got to go against Strowman next week. Finn Balor's walking back until he asked, Dustin Rhodes, what's going on? It has some dust. It's Goldust, and he had his face paint on. And Goldust was offended with what Balor said about coming to his defense. I didn't ask for any help, and he said, "I'm just a friend. I'm just your friend." And he said, "I apologize, I offended you." And Goldust pretty much apologized when he do a fist bump, but Goldust actually, at least interesting this time, punched the living hell out of Finn and tried to kick the crap out of him. And then he says, "Keep your friends close and your enemies closer." Godfather 2. So, Goldust, that was interesting. Goldust kicking the shit out of Finn Balor? That's interesting. They played the John Cena thing from Raw Talk, but my God, how many times we gotta put Roman over here, folks. So it's dude. I feel like Vince told him to go out there and say it, or fed lines to him to say that for Roman. We've already talked about what happened last night at No Mercy, the finisher fest. Like I said, the guy does 4 FUs, but it takes Roman 1 spear to win. Makes no sense, but okay. Miz then went against Roman Reigns, which was a good match. Roman won pretty much clean after taking out the Miztourage with a spear for the win, and then the Miztourage attacked him, but Roman was able to fight him off. Then hit Miz with a Superman punch, and he was gonna power bomb him, but they pretty much Miztourage came back with chairs. They beat him with chairs multiple times, hit a skull crushing finale, and his brains tried to get back up. They hit him with another chair. So this almost sets up this whole Shield versus Miztourage thing that's gonna come. And yes, people did kind of cheer more for Reigns in this part. Now, first off, who wants to see the Shield versus the Miztourage? Okay, Miztourage, they're not really that important when you look at it. Okay, like Miz, I think he was better on SmackDown pretty much when he was going up to a main eventer. Raw, it just feels like they've kind of forgotten about him, like he's just been holding the title and not doing that much. We can't really even take Dallas and Axel seriously because they're just background guys, okay? Miz is kind of going back to being like heel pest in a way, but he still cuts a great promo. And it's like, who really wants to see the Shield versus the Miztourage? They'll kill these guys, okay? And like I said, boy, Axel and Dallas are just there. They're not really having no direction. They're just standing around with the Miz most of the time. So we're supposed to take these guys serious when they go against the Shield. And some people, Rollins and Ambrose are going to make the save. Well, it wasn't going to be that. Maybe next week it'll be a save, but not here. But, come on, does anybody really want to see the Shield versus the Miztourage of all people? Come on. And now next week it's going to be the Intercontinental title on the line now for Roman and Miz. So we'll see where that goes. But I just don't understand where we're going with this Miztourage and the Shield. That's probably just another way to get Roman Reigns over as usual. So I'm sure that'll happen. Finn Balor went against Goldust. Wasn't actually that bad of a match, but Balor got the win with his shotgun kick and coup de grace and won. And then next thing you know, the Wyatt thing flashes, and then some kid is saying he's got the whole world in his hands. Which, by God, why are we still continuing this feud? I thought it was about to be a feud with Goldust and Finn Balor. Oh no, we ain't done with Bray Wyatt. Come on, dude. Finn Balor just pinned him 2 times clean now. Demon mode, regular mode. Why are we still doing this feud? Who cares? Bray Wyatt, this feud has gone way too long. Eater of pins. Who cares about this feud? Where are they going to go with this? How long are they going to keep going with this? Is this all they got for Finn Balor? Because like, he can't go up the Universal title now because there's no Brock Lesnar on this show. So that's not going anywhere. But this feud is over, and I thought it would have moved on to somewhere else. But we're still continuing this bullshit. Bailey was in the back talking to Sasha, as they said one of them could have got the title last night and had to blame themselves, and you know they were just frustrated over it. But Bailey said she wanted to get her hands on Nia Jax because of the pain she had to her shoulder, and they were going to get payback. Some people think it's going to be Bailey and Banks, but didn't really go nowhere really, and it was just a fatal 5-way. So Bailey's right, it's every woman for himself. Pretty much it was a tag team match in with these two. A tag team match with all 4 of these women. Pretty much them going against Nia Jax and Emma. Pretty much Bailey pushed Nia into the ring post, and pretty much her and Sasha won the match. Bailey win. Enzo once again asked Kurt about the celebration, as Kurt called him annoying. And let's get this fucking straight: the fucking cruiserweights are the main event this show. Okay, this is the final segment. Enzo's big celebration. Why is this even ending the show? Good God help us! Why did this happen? Like, come on, it was bad enough he won the title, but now we're going to this. And he came out. He did his entrance, which the crowd was flat and did not really care, and only a few of them did the entrance as usual, saying he's the new cruiserweight champ. It was all a dream, but now it's reality, and his California king bed, got the most beautiful woman to his side right now, the cruiserweight championship. And he talked about that, to peep the haters, they're jealous, like his former partner Cass. You have to hold him up. And for all the fans that chanted, "You can't wrestle at me" and stuff, those words were once chanted at Rock, Cena, just the mainstream power he has like them. And then he pretty much had a drum roll, which he had his certified G jersey, and he made 205 relevant. Who's really making 205 relevant to begin with? Maybe other than Neville, which people did not care, and he wanted to retire his jersey. And then the 205, pretty much everybody on 205 came out, all the cruiserweights, all of them. And they came out with whatever odd music it was. And then, as they all stood there, Enzo talked to them, so, what do we got here? A bunch of haters. A couple of haters, a lot of haters. And as he danced in the ring, he talked about Rich Swann. I can hardly see because she's so small, so, you dance, you won the title, but now you dance being back to nobody. Cedric the Entertainer, Alexander the Great, the man that charisma forgot. And then he talked about Grand Metalik, someone, gets the scale. So he just pretty much tried to bury everybody on stage. That's pretty much what he did. And he called him fat, because you're not even under 205, and told Drew Gulak you got a suit now, other than your Captain Underpants look, and talked about Teacup Jack Gallagher. Next thing you know, Neville came out pissed, almost back in his dishevel. And Enzo says, "Oh, look, we got the title's on the shoulders of a real man." And Enzo pretty much talked about Neville having satellite dish ears on the side of his head, and the truth hurts. And he pretty much did his dances. Neville, he says, "This is right. The truth is brutal, and you're a toxin that's alienated everyone that's ever come in contact with you. That's why no one is your friend around here. Ever since you got on Raw for over 2 years. You had a lot of fanfare, but now you've been dumped to the cruiserweight store like we're supposed to have, like a slug, pretty much. And so what have you done when you have no friends up here? You've made a joke out of the title. Alright? You pretty much made a joke. And you're just a toxic individual. And, you know, Neville pretty much says, on behalf of the Cruiserweight division, I'm here to end you. But Enzo says, you can't touch me. He's got a piece of paper that Kurt Angle signed. And he says, you'll never get your title back if you attack me. And pretty much said, you know, I'm a star, okay? I'm on the main event of Raw. You've been champion for 9 months, and you could even sniff to the 3rd hour of Raw to get here. I am a star. Nobody can touch me. All your merchandise checks, everybody on that stage right there, could even come close to my merch sales, okay? None of them could. And so you're gonna have to wait till Tuesday night, because this is the Zoe show, okay? I've made this show relevant now. And pretty much so Neville get out the ring. Neville looked at everybody backstage, and he pretty much kicked Enzo, and he started beating the crap out of him, throwing him everywhere. Enzo tried to get out of there, but the cruiserweights backed him into Neville. Then Neville kept kicking him, and even, you know, some fans did actually kind of cheer, but they were silent, most of them, and said thank you, Neville. But he came back, put the paper in his mouth, kicked him in his face, and hit him with a red arrow. Pretty much won what's going to happen on 205. By God, this segment. Number one, Enzo came off like the biggest prick in the world right now. Pretty much burying half of the fucking cruiserweight roster up there. And what was it? Here's my question: who was heel out here? Was it a double turn? Was Enzo face? Was he heel? Was Neville still a heel? Or really? Like, I don't know what you can say about all this. And it's not going to really make you watch 205 Live. Most of those guys up on that stage, and a lot of people says the death of the cruiserweights. You gotta remember, I could have swore Hornswoggle was a point was the death of the cruiserweights, but this was just bad. I didn't even know Brian Kendrick was still there. I don't even watch 205 Live, and I know there's nothing going on. And he is right on some stuff. Who's really watching 205 Live? I'm not saying Enzo made it relevant, but who really cares about 205 Live or the cruiserweight division in general to begin with? And there are guys up there that got a lot of talent, but I feel like they're being wasted on this show. Guys like Cedric Alexander, they need to be on NXT or be going for the Intercontinental Championship. Or hell, need to be facing Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. And it's odd, it only took Enzo one try to win this championship, but it took Austin Aries 3 times to never even get it. It took him 3 times. So is it really gonna make you watch 205 Live? I don't know. Is this another way to bury Enzo out here and stuff, since nobody likes him in the back or anything? He came off like a fucking prick. He really did. Like an asshole. I don't even know if he was heel or not. That was a lot of heel tendencies. Did he turn heel? And some people are actually cheering for him in the crowd, so I don't know. But you can even look at this crowd tonight at the end of this show. It was very flat. No one cared about the cruiserweights if they did anything in that. There were maybe a few cheers, but it just wasn't really a lot. So I don't know what the point of ending this show was. You're saying what Cedric said, no charisma. Neville, you've been champion this long. You couldn't even come close to the 3rd hour of Raw. You're not even closing the show. And people said, at least I'm closing the show. I don't know if I even want to see what happens tomorrow night, because I somewhat was trying to get into 205 Live in the beginning, but it's just bad. None of these guys have really any direction, and only some of these guys. And who's really over in the cruiserweight division other than Neville? I would say Swan at point in time. Perkins, I just don't care. Tozawa has the, I like Tozawa, but they just kind of went and gone with him. Grand Metalik was gone for so long that he's recently back now. Brian Kendrick, I don't know. Jack Gallagher, I didn't even know he turned heel. It's just a lot to say about that. And I'll say this right here. I thought the entire cruiserweight division was going to come out and beat the living fuck out of him. So I thought it was going to be a jumping. Everybody else was all going to come out and jump him. Not Neville take him out by himself. I thought every single one of them was going to get their shots on Enzo and beat the living shit out of him. But they didn't. I don't know what's going to happen on the 205 Live tomorrow, but somehow people still react to Enzo, and I guess he still sells a lot of merch out here, so that's the reason why they keep him on TV, and he gets a reaction. But you see his reactions going down and down, and looking from last night and to now, so it's like people more and more do not give a shit about Enzo. I don't know what's what they are tomorrow night for SmackDown, and because we know 205 is right after SmackDown, but there's barely a crowd in there. But we'll see. So right now it's just Enzo versus everybody right now. Enzo versus the entire Cruiserweight division. Will Neville get his rematch tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go, okay? But if this was a double turn, do we take Neville as face now? Is Enzo heel now? What about the rest of the division? And who's really the face? Who's really the heel? All I know is that Enzo came off like a fucking asshole, burying the whole damn division. But then again, no one has cared about the freaking cruiserweights in the begin with for so long. After the Cruiserweight Classic, everything went downhill. Hell, fucking Austin Aries has left because he pretty much said he wasn't being used to his full potential because of this damn division. So no one gives a shit. They really don't. It's like a death sentence on 205 Live. It really is. It's a death sentence. What are they doing on there? I had to look it up just to know what was going on. What is it? Swan versus Perkins that went on for so long. I'm glad they had Cedric out at Alicia Fox and Noam Dar thing. I heard Brazango was on there recently. Tony Nese is bland as shit. Got a good look, but he's just almost like a Chris Masters wannabe. Drew Gulak, and those guys lose. By the way, those guys lose a lot of matches. Even Daivari, but it looked like he was going somewhere for a minute with Daivari, but they stopped that now. And like I said, it's people that talent, but they either lose or they just don't care. Like, they really don't. And Neville was like, what, the only good thing on that show that was going to keep going? Because and that's like, who was really on his level? Who was really on the Neville level? I thought Cedric would have been the next guy to be the champion, get the championship. If you, or the challenger, if he could win the title. I don't know. But fucking Enzo, it doesn't make sense. Like, and his thing, if they hate this guy so bad, for a guy that has so much heat, and I've said this before already, he's got so much heat in the back, why is he still here? I'm surprised they haven't fired him. Do they like treating this guy like this? Make it look like shit? I don't know where this is going. I really don't know. But this segment, I'm just surprised this was the final segment of the night. This was an odd show from this whole Shield versus Miztourage thing, trying to put Roman Reigns over some more, and Cena's got to give his stamp of approval after that bad match last night. Who cares? Wyatt versus Finn continuing. I do not care. It sucks. It really does. I'm glad Mickey James at least got to say something out there, and we'll see where that goes. Strowman getting a little path of destruction right now, because that was a bad match for him and Lesnar last night. Jason Jordan still not over. Miz versus Roman for the title next week. We'll see. Maybe Ambrose and Rollins will come for the help and reform the Shield, but that looks like where all things are pointing to. So I don't know. No Mercy was just odd once after the women's match, or maybe at the women's match, in my opinion. At first, I'm gonna say after the women's match, everything started to go downhill in that pay-per-view. Then once we got to Cena and Roman mostly, and we saw how that went. But hey, live reactions, review of that show are up. Please check it out for No Mercy. Comment, subscribe. You know it's me, the HWD, coming with the news reviews. You know what I am, you know what I do with the show, with the flow. Here I go. Came and I saw it's Monday Night Raw. So we'll see you later. Grab yourself a high C and make sure you go check out my review of No Mercy. So I'm out of here. See you later. Peace out. Bye. They said the Bullet Club was out there tonight on Raw in the crowd. So peace.